Being a video game developer is hard. Not only do you have to take into account what you want a player to do when playing your game, but you also have to predict the things that you don't want players to do when playing your game. In today's video, we're going to take a look at 7 times video game developers knew what you were going to do before you did. As always, if you're going to enjoy this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. And if you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Oh, and of course a huge thank you to my Patreon backers and YouTube channel members for their awesome support. Click the link in the description to find out more. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with everyone's favourite cake hunting simulator. Now, puzzle games usually have a right way of doing things and a wrong way of doing things. Doing something the right way will usually result in you finishing a level. Doing something the wrong way doesn't. It's pretty simple. The thing is, Portal isn't like most puzzle games. You see, in the original Portal, it's possible to trap yourself in a test chamber, meaning that you can't finish the game. Now, I say it's possible, as I'm almost certain that no one would ever do this accidentally. But if you do manage to trap yourself in a puzzle, GLaDOS won't be very happy.
You're not a good person. You know that, right? Despite the best efforts of the Enrichment Center staff to ensure the safe performance of all authorized activities, you have managed to ensnare yourself permanently inside this room. A complimentary escape hatch will open in 3, 2, 1.
So the Portal devs knew that if people really wanted to, they could make a level unbeatable. And if anyone ever did, they would open the door anyway, allowing players to continue, but not before calling them a bad person and demanding that they hit the subscribe button right now. Hey, I don't make the rules. Now, if a game places a character in front of you whilst you're holding a gun, it doesn't really matter who that person is. You'll probably try to shoot them at least once. All in the name of scientific research, of course. Early on in Bioshock Infinite, Booker DeWitt will meet the Lutece twins. This mysterious pair, who are always accompanied by their own theme song, seem to know more about Booker's situation than they're letting on. Later on, you encounter the pair again, and this time they come bearing gifts. Now, this isn't something that I'd advise in real life, but if you're unsure of a video game character's motives, you could always shoot them and see what happens. Again, all in the name of scientific research.
You missed.
You'll find the going tough enough without squandering your friends.
Or your ammunition. Missed. Missed again. 4 out of 5. Another miss. And a miss.
We can afford to do this all day.
The question is, can you?
The fact that Booker is repeatedly accused of missing only makes matters worse, and unless he's somehow bending his bullets wanted style, the female half of the Lutece twins should resemble Swiss cheese by now. Now, I don't know about you, but if a game lets me enter words in any shape or form, the first thing I usually try are swear words. If that game then repeats those words in a robotic British voice, then you best believe I'm going to spend way too long flexing my knowledge of the cruder side of the English language. This is what happens in Fallout 4. At the beginning of the game, your robot nanny Codsworth will call you whatever you like. And I do mean anything. Here are just a few of my favourite examples.
Codsworth.
Mr. Assface. Mr. Boobies. Mr. Fuckface. Mr. Nipple. Mr. Titties. Mr. Bastard. Mr. Orgasmo.
Now, of course, Codsworth doesn't have an unlimited pool of names to pick from, but you have to remember that someone at Bethesda had to first write down all of the dirty words they could think of, and then pass that list to a voice actor who then had to record them one after the other. All because people like me think it's funny hearing a British robot swear. Now, this next example of developers predicting your every move is actually kind of cruel. At the beginning of The Evil Within, you find yourself hung upside down and at the mercy of the Butcher. Now, what you're supposed to do is use a knife to cut yourself free, steal the butcher's keys and move on to the next area. But where's the fun in that? I've played my fair share of stealth games, so I'm confident that I can sneak up behind the butcher and take him down, putting an end to his bloody reign of terror once and for all. Well, let's give it a try. So despite showing the stealth takedown prompt, stabbing the butcher in the back will just make him angry. And trust me, you won't like the butcher when he's angry. I feel like the devs knew a lot of players would try this, and gave them a false sense of confidence by displaying the stealth kill prompt, which, when you think about it, is really mean. Up next is Deep Rock Galactic, with a hidden detail that I'm guessing that 90% of people who have played the game will already know. In Deep Rock Galactic, you can freely explore your HQ. You can head to the bar for a drink or try throwing barrels into a hoop. These are all fairly safe activities that won't jeopardise a future mission. What isn't a safe activity is kicking barrels into the launch bay. Though, knowing what kind of people we are, the developers recorded several lines of dialogue if you did just that.
Please just let the barrels be. As fun times go, there are better options available. Stop it, now! Barrels are to be left alone and not hurled, kicked, tossed, or in any way moved around. Fair warning, any vandalizing or destruction of company property will be deducted from your pay at the end of the month. Please don't kick the barrels into the launch bay. Barrels and launch thrusters do not mix. Launch control reports foreign objects in the launch tube. It appears that something is interfering with the force field. Would you happen to know anything about it?
Now, this next example of video game developers knowing how much of a pain in the arse you can be found in Black Mesa. Early on in the game, you can head to the staff canteen and ruin someone's casserole. Unfortunately, you can't just run away and pretend it wasn't you. Well, it turns out that your lunch-wrecking antics were anticipated by the Black Mesa devs, as if you talk to the guard near the microwave, he will have several funny lines of dialogue ready and waiting.
You better make like traffic and jam. You better make like a missile and cruise. You better make like diarrhea and run. You better make like a bread truck and haul buns. You better make like a baby and head out. You better make like a busboy and get the fork out of here. You better make like a nut and bolt. You better make like a prom dress and take off.
Again, asking a voice actor to record this many lines of dialogue just because the developers know what we're like is hilarious to me. So the final game for today's video is the Deadpool game. And considering his reputation for breaking the fourth wall, is it any surprise that the devs tried to think of everything a player might do? Now, when the game begins, you can freely explore Mr. Pool's apartment. This includes stroking his dog and even cooking some pancakes. Cooking breakfast in a kitchen that looks this dirty may not have been the best idea though, and if you need to use the toilet, the game will show Deadpool having the mother of all battles with his number 2.
Wonder what's in here. Ooh, yeah. Haha, there we go. Now we're talking. Much more realistic. Fine, you asked for this. Hundreds of... Oh! Oh, you gotta love the ones that make you sweat.
After watching for what seems like an eternity, Deadpool will finally ask this.
Join the show, freak.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the life of an Easter egg hunter. I never said it was a glamorous one. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.